choose your superpower. We're going to roll 4 random superpowers, and then I'm going to pick my favorite, and you got to tell me what yours is. 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually did 5, so let's get rid of the 5th one. Number 1, Jellybean Generation. The power to generate jelly beans. Subpower of jellybean manipulation, variation of candy generation. Number 2, Supernatural Dominion. The ability to rule over a mythological/supernatural force and draw power from it. Superior version of supernatural force manipulation, variation of mythical plane lordship. Number 3, Effect Stacking. The power to increase effects and powers by stacking. Subpower of effect manipulation and combined force manipulation, variation of power mixture. Number 4, Dimensional Consciousness Inversion. The ability to switch the psyches with those from alternate dimensions. Subpower of Dimentio Skimming. All right, let's take these in order. Jellybean Generation. Let's see, is there anything more to this, or is this pretty much exactly what it says? It really is. All right. You can generate jelly beans. Now, again, generation for me means that you can make normal versions of that. And I would say, yeah, it kind of feels like it's coming out of your own body. That's kind of a thing. You're not snapping your fingers and making jelly beans. So this is basically, useful for running a candy factory with very low overhead with jelly beans. That's kind of it. Okay, yeah, I guess you can make an enormous amount of them, and you could potentially flood something with jelly beans. I think this Jellybean Generation that Princess Bubblegum here is using, where you're firing a beam of jelly beans, I don't buy that as a generation power. That to me feels like some extra force manipulation going on here. That feels like some extra telekinesis going on. That's not Jellybean Generation. You're just making jelly beans. That's it. I would not credit Jellybean Generation with making different extraordinary versions of jelly beans. So you can't make a jelly bean senzu bean kind of thing where it's, okay, yeah, this heals you fully and all this kind of stuff. Hey, yeah, this jelly bean here gives you plus 10 attack. No, I don't credit any of that to Jellybean Generation. If it had been Jellybean Creation, we could have had an argument, but I don't see it for this. Number 2, Supernatural Dominion. Now this, just from the picture, is probably the one most people are going to pick. And this is realistically just first instinct. Yeah, this is the one that I would probably go for. All right, but let's see. So there's actually a lot more to this article. So let's see if this is anything more than what I thought. Users possess undivided control of a unique mystical/supernatural force, granting them various supernatural abilities stemming from their nature as supernatural monarchs of said forces and everything that's connected to it. They possess a realm of their own, home to the force they control, as well as legions of supernatural servants created from its energies. Users have their physiology greatly enhanced by their force and can channel it further into an elemental form or even embody it entirely. They can also use it directly in combat, creating armors and weapons made of its elements, projecting blasts of its raw energies, and summoning servants or creating elemental entities to fight for them. Okay. That, to me, this capabilities blurb right here, that does not entirely line up with the title, Supernatural Dominion. This to me feels like you're the king of a supernatural realm. Potentially, and yeah, or entity. Yeah. Draw power from it. Again, I don't think that's in Dominion. I don't think that's in the word Dominion. I think you could ask it for that power and it would have to give it to you. But you're not necessarily connected to it. This, the Jackie Estacado, Darkness, and the Angelus, that thing, that to me is a different power. I don't think this is a good representation of this. This to me feels like you're the king of a, supernatural plane of existence. You're the undivided, absolute ruler of that, and therefore you can get power from it by, telling your subjects to do it. I don't think you have, you might have control over it, and in that sense, you're sort of almost a god in that realm. Outside of that, you kind of get what you can get. So this is absolutely very good. I would be very happy to have this. And again, first instincts, out of all of these 4, this is probably what I would pick. But let's see if I'm wrong. Number 3, effect stacking. This is the other potential that had a lot of nuance to it, maybe. I don't know if this actually would work in anything other than a magical realm. Anywhere that you could actually get multiple effects to stack. Because that's essentially what you would need. I guess you could do something along the lines like, hey, I'm gonna blast some testosterone, and that's gonna give me increased muscle mass generation. And then, okay, it doesn't necessarily, This to me does not actually mean that those, that effect is permanent. I think you can basically just, get all of them on top of each other. This is basically just, okay, you're casting a lot of buffs on yourself. And they all stack as opposed to one takes precedence over the other. So, hey, I'm going to do health regen 1, which gives me 5% health back every 1 second. I'm going to get health regen 2, which gives me 10%. Instead of that 10% superseding the 5%, you now have 15%. That's really all that this is. And in that sense, for our purposes of, this could be anywhere. This could be in a sword and sorcery universe. It could be here in the real world. I can't in good conscience advise taking this. I really don't think I can. I might be wrong, and there might be an argument for it. Like I said, okay, you do some cocaine, and that gives you increased mental clarity, along with a whole bunch of other things. And you go, okay, I can pick out that one increased mental clarity type thing, or maybe Adderall, not cocaine. I don't know why I said cocaine. No reason whatsoever. And you say, all right, that gives me that, and then we're going to take all the other negative effects, and they're going to go away, but we're going to keep mental clarity, mental acuity, and then I'm going to be able to stack that with something else that gives me less need for sleep or like wakefulness or something, all these different types of things. You could possibly make an argument for that. I would not credit it. I would have to say that is not in this power. That would be something else. That would be more along the lines of effect manipulation. So, yeah. So this is better than Jellybean Generation. Honestly, this might be worse than Jellybean Generation. I might want to do this because this would be, again, like I said, you could run a candy factory with very low overhead. You could be the Jellybean King pretty quickly. Now, number 4, Dimensional Consciousness Inversion. This was an absolute mouthful, and I have no idea what this is. So we're going to have to read some more into this. The user can switch the psyches of alternate versions of themselves or others in other dimensions and realities, essentially swapping the minds of an interdimensional alternate reality version of another, and renders the mind of the past version of another being trapped within the current version of their body. Okay, initially, I guess I didn't really think about inversion here. I was thinking this would be along the lines of the everything, everywhere all at once type thing, where you could, pick out alternate versions of yourself and do these things. This is kind of worthless. I mean, I guess you could use it to, okay, if you've got an enemy, if you've got someone you don't like, someone who's an enemy, someone who's coming after you, you could switch that psyche of them with someone who loves you. Someone who's like, an alternate version of themselves that, loves the crap out of you. And is like, your biggest ally. And in that sense, okay, really good. And in all honesty, probably a winner. Yeah, you can also do it on yourself. Don't know if I like that. And again, switch the psyches. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to this power. That's kind of it. I really feel like that would more or less be the only thing. And in that sense, if we're trying to use these powers to the most imaginative way possible, to their absolute max potential, this might be something that you could use if you're completely unethical. You could absolutely use this to accrue an enormous amount of power in realistically probably almost every conceivable reality. The thing to look for is something that you could go into Warhammer 40k universe with and be like, okay, can I survive with this? Can I rise to power with this? Can I live a good life within the confines of this horrific, grimdark dystopia? This actually probably maybe actually beats out supernatural dominion in that scenario. I think I would still probably choose supernatural dominion because, again, with this dimensional consciousness inversion, you would need incredibly loose morals. You would need to basically be able to look at every single entity, human being, person, sentient, sapient being, and say, you know what, your will is subordinate to my own, and therefore I'm going to more or less essentially enslave you by switching your consciousness with one that is totally subservient and loyal to me. Yeah. Now, maybe you could, again, temper that slightly with basically saying, okay, I'm only going to use this in defense of myself, but then you're really playing reactionary catch-up, and hey, maybe some, I don't know, Inquisitor thinks you're a Xeno and decides to take you out from, a mile away with some, I don't know what the weapons are, bolter, las gun, whatever, just vaporizes you from, an enormous distance away and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, that's a real potential thing here. Supernatural dominion gives you a little bit more leeway, and then also you're pretty much good to go. You don't really require lax morals to utilize this in such a way to give yourself a good life to live. So, in terms of ranking, yeah, I think I've got to go Supernatural Dominion, number 1, then Dimensional Consciousness Inversion, then Jellybean Generation, then Effect Stacking. This could be really good, but it just does not have the adaptability that I require for something that is this nebulous. So once again, Supernatural Dominion, Dimensional Consciousness Inversion, Jellybean Generation, and effect stacking. All right, so I've repeated myself enough times here. If you liked this video, yeah, comment, subscribe, like it if you feel like it. I don't know if I've earned it, if I'm going to be completely honest with you at this point. I'm going to try to do better, and I think I am doing better as I keep going along with these things. So before I get too long-winded, I will say thank you. I will applaud you sincerely, not sarcastically, and I will say farewell.